You know that feeling, right? When you walk into a class and the students just click, where the energy is so positive that learning feels, well, almost effortless? That's the magic of a strong classroom community. Today, I'm going to share a powerful step-by-step lesson to help you build that exact magic in your own classroom. So let's get started.
I start every single year with this exact phrase. You know why? Because it's simple, it's direct, and it sets a really clear intention right from the get-go. It tells our students that this isn't just about fun and games. Nope. We're here to build something real, something meaningful together that's going to support us all year long.
Because let's be honest, a strong classroom community isn't just a nice-to-have. It's the fertile ground where learning really blossoms. When students feel seen and heard and safe, they're not afraid to take risks, you know? They'll raise their hands, ask those tough questions, and really challenge themselves. This is where the real growth happens, both for their grades and for them as people.
So, where do we start? Well, before we can ask students to share anything, we have to build that foundation of trust. This first part of the lesson, it's all about setting clear, non-negotiable expectations for how we're going to talk to, and maybe more importantly, how we're going to listen to each other. Okay, these 3 guidelines right here, this is the secret sauce to creating a truly safe space. Listen to understand pushes for empathy, not just debate. Confidentiality, that builds so much trust. It basically creates a vault for their stories. And the right to pass? Oh, that is a total game changer. It gives students complete control over their own vulnerability, and that is so empowering.
All right, now for the fun part. Once we've set that stage of safety and respect, it is time to get students moving and connecting. I call this the connection quest. And I promise you, when you kick this off, the energy in the room is going to be absolutely electric.
So here's how it works. First, students make their choices privately. Then, they're off. They're on a quest to find someone with at least 3 of the same answers. But the real magic, the part that matters, happens in that last step, the why conversation. Just imagine 2 students finding out they both chose mountains over the beach. The conversation that follows, about family trips or a love for hiking, that's where the real connection gets built.
And here's a quick but super important tip. For those students who might be a little shy or just aren't sure how to start a conversation, having sentence starters on the board is a lifesaver. Simple phrases like, "Hey, I noticed we both chose," can be just the little scaffold they need to jump in with confidence.
So, the connection quest is a fantastic starting point, but if you feel like your class is ready to go a little deeper, these next activities are perfect. They help you build on that initial energy and guide your students toward even more meaningful conversations. So which path do you want to take? The values exchange, that's all about the head. It's about exploring what we think and believe, usually in small groups. But the story circle, well, that's all about the heart. It's about sharing our personal stories, what we've lived, as a whole class. Look, both are incredibly powerful, but they lead to different and equally valuable kinds of connections.
You can see these prompts are designed to tap into our shared humanity, right? When a student shares a story about overcoming a challenge, their classmates don't just hear the words, they feel it. And that's the power of storytelling. It builds genuine empathy and creates a much more compassionate classroom.
And here's another super practical piece of advice. When you're doing the story circle, a timer is your best friend, for real. Setting a 2 or 3 minute limit for each person makes sure that everybody gets a chance to speak. And that, our more talkative students don't accidentally dominate the time. It's all about creating equity in the share.
Now, look, the activities are fantastic, but this next part, this is what turns a fun experience into lasting change. Reflection is where students actually process what they've learned about each other and about themselves. It's what makes those new connections really stick.
The My Connections map is kind of like creating a constellation of your classroom community. Each new thing they learn is a new star. And as students map them out, they start to see this beautiful, intricate network of relationships that they're building together, right there on the page.
And this is the final, and I think maybe the most important piece of the reflection. Asking students to set a personal goal. Well, that shifts the ownership over to them. It reframes this whole community building thing not as a one-time lesson, but as an ongoing personal commitment that they're making to their classmates.
Okay, to make this lesson even more powerful and inclusive, I want to share a few of my favorite tips and tricks from my teacher's toolkit. These are simple little adjustments that will help you meet the needs of every single student in your classroom.
Ready for some rapid-fire tips? For your visual learners, just add some little icons to the this or that choices.
For students who are a bit shy, you could try a more structured activity like concentric circles, instead of just open mingling. And please don't forget to connect it all back to the real world. This isn't just a classroom game, it's a life skill. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. This lesson, it gives you a really powerful framework, but it all starts with just one conversation, one moment of shared understanding. So what's the first connection you're going to help a student build tomorrow? Thanks for joining me.